Hey everyone, this is Bren Harris, and let me get my lights on. I am so glad you're here. It's not an accident. Stop the scroll. We are here for the Week of the Warrior Moms, and tonight we have an amazing guest. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Bren Harris, and I founded Warrior Moms by Bren, now the Warrior Nation. When my son was medically injured at 22 months of age, he was just a small child. I thought I was doing the right thing, and I've had to let go of that mom guilt and move forward. I don't know about you, but in the last 12 years, we have walked through hell. Now we're walk through it like we own the place and take water back to those still in the fire. You are not crazy. You are not imagining things. The pediatric schedule is about following the money. Now, I don't have all the answers. What I do know is that we have an amazing guest tonight. So if you know anyone, are you a new mom? Do you know someone who is a new mom? Well, you need to get them on the line and get their eyes on this podcast. We have a remarkable young woman from Colorado that is a successful entrepreneur and a successful mom. And I just want everyone to know we have Mother's Day coming up at the close of this week. And I just thought it was really important to highlight the amazing moms in our circles. And I don't want to steal her thunder. So please text your BFF, get them on here. We are going live with her in just a few seconds. And I am so honored to be here. Now, again, we don't have all the answers, but we do know that together we are stronger. Anna, did you make the Zoom? Oh, you're muted.
And I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me on the podcast tonight.
Oh, I am so glad you are here. And I know that you are pulling triple duty right now. So, and wearing many hats. So we know that your husband is late from work and you have the little munchkin, adorable little munchkin, and your fur baby there.
Yes.
And we are so glad that you are able to join us tonight. Now, I have not stolen your thunder. So can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my name is Alexis. And as Bren said, I wear many hats, but I feel like as a mom, that's just your new job is, it's like when you were working, you just have your working hat and then you have your home life and then you become a mom. And now it's like every hat is now given to you. Somehow you made one person, but you got 15 hats. But in the world, I work in corporate America in property management. I also help run a successful family business with my husband. And then we are working on our podcast and coaching series. And then also my little baby just turned 1 on Thursday. I have a bonus son who's 14, and then we have 3 pups. So yeah, busy, lots of hats.
And I'm gonna dial this back a little bit. Let's go back to the Wayback Machine. What was your life like before becoming a mom compared to what it's like now?
I had so much time, and I didn't even busy was, and I'm like, oh my God, girl, you had freaking 7 days in a day. You were so free. I could put a whole year in a week of how free I was. In terms of time and energy and resources and just with everything.
Hey baby. Does he need mama? Go ahead and get him.
He's like, that's how I felt as well as a soul being. I had infinite time and now I have a bedtime because I'm a baby.
Oh, that's so cute. Well, for those of you just joining us, please let us know in the chat where you're chiming in from. If you threw a dart at the U.S., that's where I am. And our featured guest, Anna Alexis, and her precious baby boy are joining us from Colorado near Denver. And I'm going to show them a picture. If that's okay. There we go. Adorable birthday boy. And he just turned 1. And I know that we have a lot of people from a lot of different time zones, a lot of different locations. Please let us know in the chat one thing you're thankful for when you think of your own mom or being a mom yourself. And one thing I love about this journey is that we have an open door policy. Often times my pets are right here in the office and my son is across the room. He's a teenager now, so he's usually on my phone. And you're welcome to pick him up, sweetie. Does he need a hug?
In pumpkin. Here, bud. Would you like to see everyone? I thought if we did some self-feeding, he would be entertained.
Oh, that's okay. Hey, this is what we do as moms. Hey, adorable. So yummy, yummy. I see that pumpkin. Is the puppy gonna lick that off?
Yeah. Like, I happen to love pumpkin. But yes, no, sorry for him stealing the show. And again, thanks for being flexible.
Oh, we're used to it. Trust me. This is a Monday for us. So we're okay. Yeah. Now, one of the things that I love is to watch what you're doing online. And I know before I became a mom, I felt like I didn't have enough time. Yeah. Hi. How are you? Mwah. Mwah. How are you? Oh, look at that cute smile. There we go. And I know that you have a lot going on. Can you let us know do you have a mission statement for your business?
Yeah, well, and really it is like it had shifted to the thing I had wanted to do before I ever became a parent, before I ever got married, before I ever really did anything. And that is really to create a space for women, but just other people, just all people, but mostly women, because becoming a mom, it's like you're in this really cool club where you're like, oh my God, I get it now. But then you're also the most isolated you've ever been. So it's almost like you get into this really cool club, and then you're also a societal outcast simultaneously until you like get better, get healthier, get thinner, all of those things, get back to yourself. And so really it's just creating this space for people who have lost that belief in themselves, whether that's in the world, in themselves, in a God they felt like they needed to trust. And it's really just about like creating a journey back to themselves, one truth at a time, and that whole self-discovery process.
I love it. I love it. And you nailed it. We feel isolated, yet we belong to this club. Oh, yeah, you've been through labor. Oh, yeah, you've done all these things.
I literally had my baby and I was like, I'm in the club. Like, I can talk to my friends who's had babies. And then I'm like, oh, there's like, it's like a club, but it's like off to the side instead of like the goddess it deserves to be. And so it's just kind of like the world's like, oh, you've had him. Oh, yes, move along. It's like, you're super important when you're pregnant, and then you're just like, come back when they're walking and in school, and you can contribute to the world in the way that you did before.
Right. And I love that you're creating a safe space for moms who have lost parts or all of themselves, because this is so common. And one of the things we talk about here at the Warrior Mom and the Warrior Nation is that a recent study came out, and it said American moms, 79% of us feel invisible.
Yeah.
And I love that you're creating a space. Now, what's the biggest positive change that has come about for you after becoming a mom?
I think a little bit of it is like the camaraderie, but really of like that rediscovering of yourself. But it goes both ways, because you find another level to yourself, like not just in love, but like in the things you can do and the things you can overcome, and like this other level of strength and belief, but that is also equally met by its negative, so it's like you get both sides. And so, but and then also just being like, I made a person, like a whole person, where it's like everyone's eating lunch, and it's like you're pregnant and you're like, I'm making a liver while eating, while working, while still showing up. And I think it's like, when you think about it, it's like, I would look at every person in the world, and I'm like, somebody made you.
Right.
And it's quite dismissed, but like, you're here because somebody made you. Like, that is crazy.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And we love to hear that freshness. My son is about to turn 17. So I've lost some of that. So thank you for reigniting that. And I would love to go a little deeper. Is that
Yeah,
okay? Do I have
let's
your
do it.
permission? What's one of the spiritual things that has changed as after becoming a mom for
I
you
think
personally?
I think for me, spiritually, there's like this two-sided magic, like in my belief system, I believe that like we've existed for all time, that we're infinite beings, that we are connected to God before we become these humans, and we'll be returning home, which is where we ultimately belong, but that we
Mhm.
were something before we were this thing. And this is just a temporary thing. And so when I was pregnant and we were going through like the genetic testing and just
Mhm.
like first trimester and all of those scares, I remember just talking with my grandma who had passed on um, in 2016.
Mhm.
So a while ago, and just asking her to like keep him safe. But then as I was getting into when he was going to be born, as I was getting into those last few weeks, I had switched it to where I was telling my baby, I was like, soak up her hugs, soak up where you are. Like, you're going to miss, like, I'm going to read to you 3 times a day, every day, because I can't wait to ask you, like, what it's like where you're from, because you're closer, babies are closer to God than anybody because they
Oh,
were just there.
right,
And
right,
so there was like that beauty in that. But I think also as challenges arise, it's easy to be like, why are you putting me through this? And so
right.
it can also like equally cause separation when things aren't working. I had a disc come out in my spinal cord on my L5S1, and
Mm.
it's been pressing on my sciatic nerve for a while. So I would be going to bed at night and everyone's like, oh, you're tired because you have a new baby. And I'm like, no, my baby is sleeping. I can't go to bed because I feel like my ankle bone is disintegrating. I feel like my muscles and my left leg are being carved out with a hot fork, and I look fine, but I'm not. And so as these challenges arise where you're just like, you can start to blame in your spiritual journey of like, why are you doing this to me, instead of also looking from within, whether it's like disease is dis-ease. And it's like,
Mhm.
okay, what of this can I fix? And what of
Oh,
this do we just let go of and accept? And so that tandem of acceptance versus defiance simultaneously of like, I demand a different future, but I'm also need to be in the now, and
right.
tethering with both of those things.
Oh, beautifully said. And now that you are a mom and you are home, you said you were working from home
Mm-hmm.
and doing meetings like this often. We got to meet Cooper, your other fur baby, and he thought, "Oh, you're on a meeting. We're
Yes.
gonna get in on the picture." Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, what does your day look like when you're winning the day wearing all these hats? Provider, mom, entrepreneur, successful female business owner, all these things. What does that look like on a day-to-day basis?
The winning the day has really changed for me in this season of motherhood, in this season of almost like chronic pain, because a lot of the times it's like when I wake up, I'm like, does it hurt? Can I walk? Can I stand up? Are my hips going to hurt? Can I stand up straight? How long can I be like this? And so it's like answering all of those questions first. And then it's like, obviously hanging out with, the baby in bed and all that stuff. But with the mini hats, I still work in a corporate role. So I go to work for 8 hours a day, and then we do our passion projects and our family business and our side hustles and things like this on nights and weekends,
Oh,
because we're still looking at making it work. And so when I had my podcast in 2024, we had taken this kind of season of rest because I was like, my chronic pain was the worst at night. And I'm like, I can't really do a podcast when all I'm thinking about is like, my leg is burning. I can't sit here. I need to move, where it's just like this self-consuming thought.
right.
And so really having to like adjust my mindset over and over and over and over again, because all of the hats or all of the plates that are spinning, they're not stopping. And if they do, something bad is happening, you
Right.
know.
Right. Oh, so well said. I relate to the plate spinning.
Mhm.
Definitely. And
Yeah.
I love how you're so comfortable working with the fur babies, having your baby right there and being in chronic pain.
Yeah.
And you know that every person we meet has a different story and we don't know even a fraction of it. I've watched most of your podcasts. I
Yeah.
had no idea you were in chronic pain.
Well, and that was the other thing of like getting in chronic pain because I'm 35. I thought chronic pain happened when you were like 75. I had no idea. And especially moms of like healing from their own like birthing experience
Mhm.
where it's like the world isn't stopping. So like the ice and rest, that doesn't exist. Your kid still needs picked up. You're like all of these things still need to happen. But just how many of us were living in a state of like goddamn survival.
Right.
Of
Right.
just like some days you're barely making it. And it's like your 100% is 7%.
Right. Right. Oh, well
And
said. And I know that you're not alone.
yeah,
Many
and
people
yes,
experience
and I was like, oh, this is the club I'm actually in. You know, is that the truth?
it. He's like, I want to be in the picture.
Yeah.
So real quick, we're gonna wind things down. Hey, baby. Is he teething a little bit?
We've got the
I
drool
saw
on
that.
yes, he's making his 8th tooth.
Oh my goodness. He's an
Yep.
overachiever just like his mama.
Yeah.
And we really appreciate your time. I would love for people to know, first of all, where to find you
Yeah.
on social media.
On social media, I can be found on Facebook and Instagram. My handle is AnnaIng8, so ANNAING. So it's like you in action, and then the number 8.
Okay. And that's Instagram. What about Facebook?
Facebook is just Alexis, Alexis Maldonado, and it's
Okay.
got that picture that Bren had used today on the flyer. I had just updated that from the little boys' party.
Oh, he's so precious. That was too good a picture to not use.
I know. I was like, yes, we got a good one.
And I may have let the cat out of the bag a little early. Sorry, I didn't mean to say cat in front of the dogs. When I put like a mother, please share with us this project you're working on.
Yes. So I am so excited for this project that I'm working on. It's called Like a Mother. And essentially what it does is it's going to be exploring like the rebirth that happens through motherhood. And that rebirth is through loss and pain and the roles that women are told to play. And it's really about unraveling and remembering and becoming a mother, but also like becoming yourself. And, one of the things that I had noticed when I was rediscovering myself through motherhood is I was reading this book called Birthing from Within. We did a home birth. I had my baby in my bedroom on the floor with midwives, and I loved that. And the number one book they had recommended to me was Birthing from Within. And one of the things that it kept kind of eating at me is it said, make sure you say goodbye to who you are, because after you have your baby, that version of you is gone. And for me, doing so much personal development, doing so much healing in previous relationships or business moves, I had done things wrong and I had guilt and shame, and I had grown in strength through that. And I was like, I just worked so hard to be her, and now she's leaving. And then just also like just really realizing that like everything else you get, whether it's a dog, whether it's a spouse, whether it's a job, whatever, it's all like in addition to you. But what I found in like my motherhood journey is like you go down to the ashes. Like people see you, but on the inside, you are all back to the ground, especially when you're tired. God forbid your kid is sick and they're not sleeping and you're doing postpartum, which everybody thinks only crazy people get, when it's like every goddamn person gets that. And you realize that like you're amongst these ashes, but you have to remind yourself like, oh, I'm the phoenix, not the ashes. And nobody talks about that. You just think you're going to be you plus a baby. No, like that doesn't work. You're still there. And yes, there's a baby, but everything inside of you was unraveling. And for me in the beginning, I was trying to like hold on to it. Like, no, this is who I am. This is my identity. This is how I do things. This is how I see myself. And you just got to let it go.
Right.
And you get to like become anew, because motherhood does that. Grief does that. The expectation of how you thought it was going to be does that. And it kind of takes it from you. And you can either spend your whole time like trying to like grab it and like force it into what it's going to be, or you can just let go and let it unravel, let you unravel. And this whole journey of like a mother, the podcast series that we're building for hopeful launch date in the fall, is to sit there with women and have them tell their stories, be able to talk to experts like midwives or pelvic health floor specialists or trauma specialists. And the whole essence is to say like, hey, you're not alone. You're not crazy. You're not stupid. You're not needing to get it together. You don't have to go back to how you used to be, but you're not alone. And so it's to gather these stories of women, your story, coworkers, my story, so that people are listening. And when they're in their dark moments of like, I'm going to fucking give up because this is so hard, they're like, oh, they hear Bren's story. They hear my story. They hear Brittany's story. And they go, oh my God, I thought I was the only one.
Right.
Creating this community of saying like, you're not. And though you have to do this journey, you have to make the choices alone. You have to decide to get up alone. You have to make your choice alone, but you're not alone in doing it.
Oh, yes. If I had pom-poms, I would,
Yeah.
I would cheer you on. And we firmly believe that together we're stronger. Thank you so much for your time.
Yes.
You
Thank
guys,
you so
please
much.
check out Anna's socials and watch for Like a Mother in the fall.
Yes. Perfect.
Okay.
Bren,
Be
thank
blessed,
you so
my
much
friend.
for having me. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll see ya. Hey guys, I'm so glad that you're sharing the Week of the Warrior Moms with us. Again, my name is Bren. If you got value, let us know in the comments. And I just want you to know that you're not alone. Now, many of you have followed my journey. You've followed other moms' journeys. I do have a book coming out in August, and I want you to know that you are not alone, and I am here with you. And we will be talking more about this because it's specifically for you, and to let you know that together we really are stronger. And I am so thankful for your time, and know that the Warrior Nation is your source for truth, transparency, and trust.